Hi, I'm Cristina Smith, and with me today is Sheldon Shalley, author of The Other Man in Me, Erotic Longing, Lust, Love, and the Soul Calling. Welcome, Sheldon.
Thank you, Christina.
Glad you're here, and thank you so much for writing your amazing book. It's going to help so many people. Could you tell me a little bit about who it's for?
Yes, my book is for the gay or bisexual man who's married to a woman or who finds himself in other circumstances where he's unable to make the choice to live out his same sex attractions with men. It's about helping them find the symbolic and spiritual meanings of their attractions so they can live with them in ways that are congruent with their soul's deepest longings and needs, as well as within the context of the demands of their individual life. While it's mainly about male same sex attractions, the truths discovered in this journey are actually applicable to other situations where one might find him or herself with attractions that they're unable to live out or act on for whatever reason. It'll help them find the symbolic and spiritual meanings of those attractions so they can live in harmony and in peace with all the parts of themselves.
That sounds beautiful. Well, how did you come to write this book?
Well, in my late 20s and early 30s, a conflict began to emerge in me as I was discovering who I was not congruent with the life I was living. At the time, I was married with children. I was a successful teacher and a well respected community and church leader. At the same time, I was having same sex encounters. And eventually, I couldn't keep that a secret, and those two worlds collided. And that collision led me into a deep, long, soul searching journey of discovery to understand my own sexual attractions and to try to reconcile my two lives. So, for the next 35 years, I kept a detailed journal of my dreams, my fantasies, my psychotherapy sessions, life events, synchronicities, all in an attempt to make sense of my life and to figure out how to reconcile these two selves. I discovered in that journey that sometimes erotic longings and sexual attractions are not just about sex, but they're symbolic of other parts of us that want to come into consciousness. So, this book is the story of that discovery.
So sometimes that longing that comes outside that we sometimes think of as sexual attraction can often be some part of ourselves that we need to connect with. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. We often project these unknown split off parts of ourselves onto others in the outer world, and then that pulls us into a relationship with them as a way to try to get into life, to be lived. When really it's about something we need to embody and own and live ourselves.
Wow. In the back cover of your book, you talk about the important roles that dreams played in your journey. Could you explain that?
Yeah, dreams are my friends. Yeah, back in 1978, during a prayer meditation time, a voice spoke to me, just as clear as we're talking today. And it said, "Listen to your dreams, for I will be speaking to you through them." At the time, I thought that the I was God. So I thought, well, if God's going to be speaking to me through my dreams, I'd better pay attention. So that night was like a dam had burst. And so I began to remember many dreams, many nights that lasted for years and years. And what I discovered was the dreams were trying to get a message to me from the depths of my soul, from the unconscious. It's like the dreams were a self portrait of who I was inside. Like the dreams were saying, I know you think that your life is this, but from inside here, we see it this way. And so over time, the dreams began to show me the meanings of my conflict between my two selves and also began to reveal the meanings of my same sex attractions. For example, I dreamed that I had a dream about homosexuality. And then I dreamed that several nights in a row, I dreamed another dream about homosexuality, and each dream added an episode to that story. I then dreamed that I saw the very first dream again. And I noticed that the paper that I had written that dream on, the bottom had curled under. And as I smoothed that paper out, I saw another line to the dream that I hadn't seen before. And that line said, "A treasure hard to find." So I started to to seek for that treasure hard to find. What I discovered, what was revealed in my dreams, was my true and authentic self, a part of me that I had projected onto men in my search to find an ancient sacred masculine that was mine to embody and live.
Wow. So, what advice would you give to someone who wanted to remember their dreams and to work with them?
Well, first of all, acknowledge the dream maker and place an intention. When you get ready to go to bed at night, if there's something bothering you on your mind, just say, Dream maker, I'd like some advice on this. Could you make a comment on my life and tell me about this a little bit? And then wait for a dream. It's also important to have a notebook by your bed. So if you wake up from a dream, you can write it down right away. Otherwise, they often slip back into the unconscious and we lose them.
So, this ancient sacred masculine that you talk about, the other man in your life, tell us a little bit about who that is really.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I don't want to give away the whole story, but I will tell you
Okay.
that in my journey, I discovered what the indigenous world calls the two spirit. These are people who are connected to both their masculine and feminine selves. We might say that they are connected to their androgynous natures. They're the go-betweens. They're able to move between the masculine and the feminine, or between the physical world of matter and also the spiritual world of energy. In the indigenous world, they're the healers, the medicine men and women, the shaman, the ceremonialists that serve the community with their own healing gifts. So it's my desire that this book will become a hope for people caught in what I call conflicts of the soul, but especially for the LGBTQ community, for they're often rejected, marginalized, confused, sometimes struggle with their gender and their sexual expressions. It's my hope that this book might help them find their particular unique gifts, where they can live in unity and harmony with themselves as co-creators in the dance of life, find their own soul's longing.
Well, you do a really great job of supporting that in your book. And one thing I really love about it is the exercises you put at the end of each chapter, where an individual can really do their own deeply personal transformational exploration through reading about your journey and having you guide them along the way. So thank you so much for this gift.
Thank you, Cristina.
And you can pick up Sheldon Shalley's The Other Man in Me, Erotic Longing, Lust, and Love, the Soul Calling on Amazon.com and at bookstores everywhere.